Oh, Internet. How you doing, Internet? What up? What's going on? How's everybody doing today? It's live stream time, that's right. Good to see you. Good to see everybody came out today on a Wednesday. I know everybody out there is stressing out about Christmas, going crazy. Going crazy, going crazy, going crazy. Everybody doing all that crazy stuff out there, getting ready for Christmas and having just a middle of the week, right? Right. Hopefully everybody's having a fantastic day. I'm going to say, first to the chat today. Who was first to the chat today? Sarah Konopko was first to the chat today. What up, Sarah? The new champion. The new temporary champion will be Sarah Konopko, first to the chat. Boom! And I got Mr. Duty here today.
Say hello, Mr. Duty Man. Hello, my name is Mr. Chips. I gotta sit on your lap.
It's very important to have Mr. Chips here on my lap today. I don't know why. He's feeling kind of needy today, but he's having a good time. He was eating some stuff earlier, and, generally just being a good dog. Good dog. Mellow Moogles here in the chat. How's it going? Gabe W., Carson Anderson, Wushu Jimmy Brown, Morgan Newbie. Candy Overhauls is here. What's up? Where's Caleb? What's happening, Candy and Caleb? I noticed something from Candy earlier today on the Facebooks that her hubby is out there working in the super cold weather out there in Montana. So just remember to stay warm. Maybe some thoughts go out. As was requested, some warm thoughts going out to out there in the cold, in the freezing cold. It's going to start getting cold here in western Washington, as the news guys say. The news guys are saying that it's going to get cold, but who knows? Who knows if they're being legit or not, right? All right, Mr. Man. We'll get him. He's got 2 beds in here, Mr. Chips, and doesn't seem to want to be using either of them right now. I don't know why that camera was all moved up there. But I'm glad to be here today. We have a couple of video segments for you today. We're going to do a quick update on the 240, 1 month after the last update of the 240. Well, a couple days off. A couple days off. That's okay. From the last update on the 240-gallon planted aquarium. And we'll be talking about that. And I do have the video segment. That was the extra video. That's why we were 2 minutes late. I decided, oh man, you know what I should do? I should render some of the old video that I have previously from the 240. So I was like, oh, I should have last month's update video and throw that up there. But that was going to be like a 10-minute long video, so I had to re-render the part that's just the overview of the tank so we can look at what has happened in a month and what's different now. So we'll be able to check on that, see what's going on. And we'll see what's happening with the 240. We'll also notice that there are some other art projects and things going on around here. It's been very busy for yours truly, between commuting up and back to the aquarium co-op and working over the weekends and working the evenings and trying to work at all. Let's see, who mentioned the somebody mentioned the where'd it go? Who was it? Let's see. It's around here somewhere. Where did it go? Who said it? Come on. I think it was Kevin Keener. Where'd it go? Why can't I read the chat? What's wrong with me? Oh, there it is. No, Master Beta had the Pasquale. Those of you that are friends with me on Facebook know that I posted a thing about that crazy dream I was having the other night, where there's this space alien kept yelling stuff at me in my dream and freaking me out. And there's ghosts in this house too, so I figure it's probably got something to do with the ghost and space aliens would be my guess. You know, just off the top of my head, that's probably what it would have to be. But the Pasquale was what the space alien shouted at me. It's just a little guy, just a little space alien guy yelled at me Pasquale, and I woke up 23 minutes early at 5:07 a.m. So it was a little bit weird. I don't know what that was all about. I was having weird dreams, didn't sleep good. I was really tired yesterday. But today, I'm doing okay. Everything's going fine. I'm just super busy. And you guys notice that like part of my hair is sticking out over here because I'm due for a haircut today. I was going to go get a haircut today. But those of you that have been following the news know that there was a train flew off the tracks here. Actually, that's really near to my house where that happened. Where the passenger train went flying off and landed on the freeway. That's really close to my house here. I mean, it's not like I can see it out the window or anything like that, but it's like just a few freeway exits away where I go to... well, I take the freeway because it's faster. I can take the back roads easily, but that's where I go to get my haircut. That's where my barber's at, and that road is not open yet. Not until tomorrow. Well, it's scheduled like, they were like, at some point in time today, it was going to be open. And I didn't want to risk it. I didn't want to risk just going down there and being stuck on the freeway for an hour or whatever, because I have so much stuff to do. So I'm actually going to head down tomorrow because they said that the freeway would be open. Well, my main concern for like not trying to go like the back roads was because they're diverting the freeway traffic around through those back roads that just cannot handle freeway traffic. So you know, when I like zoomed in on the Google Maps, I was like, oh wow, that is a back road traffic nightmare. So I was like, you know what, I'm just not going to try it today. They say that I-5 was going to be open back up tomorrow, so I'm going to run down there and do that. It really, really sucks that that train fell off. The loss of life is terrible. It literally is like right down the street is where it happened. So it's a pretty sad event, also because that train around here is used quite frequently by a lot of people, and that new addition was going to be kind of a big deal for a lot of people. Now, I don't know if that new addition is going to be open, so back to the drawing board, I guess. I would imagine is going to be the situation with that. I'm not 100% sure. I know that they were saying that the train was going like 70 where it was only supposed to be going 30, which makes sense to me because that's the old part of the tracks where it like comes around the bend there and goes over the freeway and stuff. I don't know. I wasn't like on the train or anything like that, so I wasn't the conductor or any of that kind of stuff. I don't really know. All I've read about was in the paper that it was going like 40 miles an hour faster than it was supposed to, which generally we know speeding is kind of a bad idea, right? So, but hopefully that's it for train accidents here in Washington. There's been a couple of them. There's been a couple of them like this year. And so I'm not 100% sure if we're speaking about like the political side of this situation is in Washington State, they have levied a $50 billion levy to add a train. They're basically going to add a train from Tacoma to Everett, and they're saying that they're collecting taxes for $50 billion for a $50 billion train project that's supposed to fix traffic, I guess, which a lot of the opponents of it, like myself, have been saying, why we already have trains around here and the traffic is terrible. How is that the solution? The solution is to get some, 19th century fix for a 21st century thing, and it's going to cost us $50 billion. It's a little bit crazy, as people have noticed that they're charging everyone on your car tabs, basically, for this tax, which is just kind of crazy. Personally, my thing would be if Washington State's going to pay $50 billion for a technology project, we should get some technology out of it. If we're gonna spend $50 billion, why aren't we like competing against Elon Musk for our own Washington State self-driving cars or something, or like a solar panel roads, or I don't know, like something like that. But they want to put a train in, which we can't even get trains correct right now, because they fall off the tracks onto the freeway, which is a terrible tragedy. Yes, I'm sad that people got hurt and people lost their lives. But it's right now, I feel like the bigger issue is stop building these trains. We need to come up with something better than that. It's pretty crazy how much money is going into it, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see what shakes out. We'll see what comes from this situation. But like I said, minor inconvenience for me. I'm very sorry that some people lost their lives. It's very sad. But hopefully it will at least draw some attention to the fact that this is not a long-term good resolution of just more. It's just not good. Not more trains. No. Bad. But that's what's going on in my neck of the woods, like right around here. I'll say hi to some people in the chat, see what's happening. Frank Dominguez, hey guys, just stopped by to say hi, and now I'm out. I don't know what's going on with Frank. I think they changed his. They must have changed his work schedule or something. He's probably working, and that's why he can't do it. Candy Overhauls has 7+ inches of snow in Montana. Okay, wow, it's going wild. I know it's coming down in eastern Washington. I do know that. Speaking of eastern Washington, I will be heading that way, so I want to I'll be heading that way shortly in the future, not today or anything like that, but I want to give you guys an idea of what the schedule is going to be like here. Monday and Tuesday, there will be no shows. Hopefully, I'll get a good video edited and be able to just pop up a couple of videos on Monday and Tuesday, so maybe I can occupy a couple minutes of the potential boredom that could be happening, like on Christmas Day or the day following. But I have a bunch of I have family coming into town, and so Monday and Tuesday we won't be having a show, which is the 25th and 26th. So there won't be a show on those days, and then I think when we make the illustrious return on the 27th, I believe there will be a whole Real Fish Talk episode and a bunch of other stuff going on the 27th. So even though we're going to miss Christmas Day and the day following Christmas, no worries. We will be, there'll be a bunch of content and stuff coming out. We'll be doing a whole bunch of stuff. So we'll be on the ball. They're just every once in a while these holidays conflict with the standard schedule, and there ain't much I can do about it. I got family flying in from out of town, namely my sister, who's flying in, and we'll be grabbing her from the airport and that kind of stuff. So there's just no way around it. There ain't much I can do. And, there's nowhere to broadcast from where I'm going. We don't have roads where we're going, right? I don't know what happened to Frank, but I think he has I think he changed his schedule. BC Fishroom says, bought myself $350 worth of fish and plants for Christmas yesterday, all for one tank. Oh, that's pretty wild. But that's Canadian money, so that's only like, what, 20 bucks American or something, right? Give you a hard time. That is a bunch, though. That is quite a bit for one tank. One tank getting in there. Let's see. Tim's Tanks got himself a Fluval Fresh and Plant 2.0 for Christmas. Right on. I definitely I definitely recommend that light. If somebody wanted to get a light, I would recommend that Fluval Fresh and Plant 2.0. The 2.0 is a good one. I definitely would recommend that. That's what's on. That's what I have on the 240 now. I don't think I ever put out a video of putting the Fluval lights on the 240. I didn't want to come across as too much of a Fluval fanboy, right? You know, if I'm just keep putting out all these videos about me buying, you know, getting Fluval lights and putting them on my tanks, right? It wouldn't. I don't know if that would make a whole lot of sense, but you know. Yep. So we got a lot of people in the chat today. We've got like 91. That's pretty good. 91 on a Wednesday. That's pretty good. I guess Corey's not here, so we're not going to get 300 people chatting today. But we'll have a good little Wednesday show here. I got some video and stuff like that. And for those of you that are jonesing for the two-man show, the two-man show will be back on Friday. So you guys will, I believe we're doing a Real Fish Talk on Friday, if I can remember correctly, our schedule. We'll be doing a Real Fish Talk on Friday, and this show, two-man style, on Friday also. So we got that going, right? We got that going, and all that stuff is all good stuff. My phone is telling me it's going to die, so bear with me a second. I'm actually just going to plug it in. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to go anywhere, but I'm going to be easily distracted by plugging. Bzz. There we go. It's working. Oh my gosh, it's charging, you guys. Ah, the technologies are crazy. These crazy technologies, you guys. There we go. All right. Whoa. Whoa. Things falling over. I know the technologies work good, but the analog part, like gravity, seems to be my issue right now. Okay. Let me double check the chat here and see if anybody has any questions or anything before we go to the... I want to get to the video early today, so I'm going to see if anybody has... any questions real quick? Oh, Dank Tanks just sent one in. Does CO2 help Anubias handle highlight better? Oh, man, what a great question. I do like that question. And one thing I would recommend always with Anubias is patience, first and foremost, and secondly, some good CO2 for them. They seem to be one of those plants that gets kind of neglected by a lot of people, but I have found that my Anubias grows much, 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 much better with CO2 enriched water. It really helps them out, and I think, you know, I might be like totally off base here. I'm kind of just going off of experience and not necessarily like, hey man, I looked this up in a science book. So bear with me, but I'm thinking that, you know, Anubias doesn't necessarily grow underwater all year round. You know, it spends a good amount of time up above water because it's normally in areas that flood. So it's not that bad. It's not that bad. What's that word? It's not that. It's not that bad to just have them underwater like all year round. But I've found that they grow a lot better when I have them in a nice high level of CO2, and I think a lot of that has to do with, as you asked, the highlight that is in a planted aquarium. We do have a tendency to get them into direct light, which normally they're in just kind of an ambient light area, and it seems to help out quite a bit. And one of the weird things that I would say is that they typically will flower if you get a whole bunch of CO2 on them, which ultimately I find to be actually really entertaining. If I have a Bucephalandra, or an Anubias that's flowering, I'm like, oh man, I get super zazzed for those little flowers. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I do have a boost. I got a boost in there. I got a boost in the 150 that is flowering, so I would look forward to. I might post some pictures or some video of it because it's just this happy little flower. It's definitely It's definitely Bob Ross style. Wherever Donnie Hill is, he probably knows what I'm talking about. Some of that happy little flowers. Just planting these happy little flowers, happy little flowers, happy little bushes. All right. Somebody was asking if I could make this shrimp talk. No, I can't make this shrimp talk. It doesn't talk. It just kind of, you can shake it around and be like, "Hey man, I'm a shrimp. Oh my god, I like eating algae and stuff and biofilm because I'm a weird little shrimp." But that is actually for Stephen Tuttle. Stephen's going to be getting this. I'm going to be handing it off to him sometime soon. Sometime very soon. We're going to meet up in person and we'll probably do some selfie action. Like, hey, haha. That's me. That's Steven. That's Mr. Tuttle. Be handing that off to him. He actually doesn't live too far away, so we're going to have to just try and figure out when we can meet up and hand it off, which is fantastic. It saves out on the shipping cost, you know? And it's always great to meet up with somebody because I always try to stop at like a good coffee shop or something like that, and then I can be like, "Oh, man, guess what? I get to have me some espresso. I get to have me like a little espresso, a little cup of coffee." And if I'm lucky, it's like a super cool place that has like some kind of pastries or something like that. I love that. Ah, yeah. Let's see here. I'm gonna check out the chat real quick, and oh man, you guys are chatting it up. Turning 27 on the 27th. I like that. Turning 27 on the 27th. Yes. Carson's is the 28th. Let's see. I think it was like 70 here today, maybe 65. Oh, man. Wherever you're at, that's actually pretty nice. It's fairly cold here today. It's supposed to be getting colder and colder, though. Mellow Moogle says we don't need 300 peeps. Yes, we do. We need like 3,000 people. That's what we need. So hit the like button, hit the share, send this out because we have to do that, right? That's like part of our responsibility. I do it the most I can with everybody else's. I try to as much as I can. I'm subscribed to so many people. It's kind of difficult at this point. But if there is a show that you guys like and that kind of stuff, we have to hit the like and we have to hit the subscribe or whatever. I don't know, all that stuff. We got to do that stuff, I guess. I don't know. We have to tell the robots that we have to tell the robot machine overlords what we like and what we don't like, and then they'll help us promote it. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have to we have to do that. I guess that's part of the human element that we have to do. We have to share it and all that stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess we're supposed to. I don't know why. Because the robots are in charge, right? Could we take a peek at that clown loach painting? Yeah, there's a peek of it right there. See that peek? You get a peek of that clown loach painting right there. Oh, it's peeking. Oh, it's peeking around. Yeah, look at that clown loach over there. Little peek of that clown loach, right? See that? Cool. Does liquid CO2 really work? From Dan Squires. Yes, liquid CO2 does work. I find it to be fairly ineffective personally because of mainly the cost consideration and remembering to do it. I mean, let me tell you, I'm just one of those guys. It's not that I would say I'm lazy, but I don't want to remember things that I don't have to remember. You know what I'm saying? Like here's a perfect example, you guys. So, ow, what the hell? What happened? I got stabbed. I'm going to be doing a video on these fairly soon here. These are actually Wi-Fi controlled outlets. They happen to have a USB plug on the side. I don't know what the USB port is for other than just charging, but I'm going to be doing a video on these. I'm going to actually be using these as light timers and controllers for my CO2 and my lights. and I'm probably gonna have to get some more of them if these work well, because I would like to get rid of the analog light timers and stuff like that. And one of the cool features with those Wi-Fi smart plugs is that you could pull up the app. Well, supposedly this is what you can do. You could pull up the app, right, and then turn everything on and off that you want just from your phone, which I gotta tell you guys would be a huge help, especially like if I have people come over to my fish room, like I have people come over on Sundays, and I have to then I have to like crawl under the tank to go to the light to the light timer, and like clang around down there, and like, oh, there's the light timer, and turn the lights on, and that chaos has got to go away. And then plus, if I can control them from in here, that would actually be pretty helpful also, because I'm going to be putting a camera in the fish room at some point in time. I don't know when. Right now, I honestly just don't have the funds to do it, so I'm hopefully waiting till the new year, and then I'm probably going to put a, well, I'm not probably, hopefully sometime in January, I don't know when though, I'll be able to put a camera in the fish room, and then let's say I do a live stream at like 10 in the morning or something like that. I could go to there, I could turn on the lights from in here and just turn it on, and then be able to go like, yeah, what's going on in the 240 when we're not looking, what's happening? And we could see what's going on and all that kind of stuff. Plus, I could also, you know, it'll let me know if there's like one of the cool things with these, it'll let me know if there's like a weird power draw, okay, which is going to be really cool. And I do have some other outlets coming that are actually going to monitor all of the power usage in the fish room out there. So it'll actually give me, it'll let me know exactly how many watts and everything that I'm using throughout the day. And I'll essentially get a readout and a report, and then I can let you guys know, like, oh, okay, this is what's monitoring when this is on and this is off, and then we can actually go down that. We'll be able to go down that road, and then I'll actually know exactly what, you know, like 100% of what's going on with that aquarium. But we're like a half an hour in here, and we got to run to, we got to get to the video, man. We got to get to the video, you guys. You know what I'm saying? We got to get to the video. All right. So this is about a month after this video right here. So the very first video is actually from like a month ago. So basically from a month ago. And so it gives us an idea of kind of like what was going on in there a month ago. I would say it's not like night and day really all that different. I don't know why it's so dark though. Video can't, I think I set the saturation weird. I was rendering this like super fast, and it's hanging over the edge there. There we go. Nah, haha, straighten it out. Oh, excuse me. Wrong pipe. Excuse me. Something went down the wrong pipe. I don't know what happened. What am I doing? I'm moving around. Why am I moving around? What am I doing? I gotta make, hold on, I gotta make me smaller. Whoop. Whoop. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Oh. Okay, there we go. I have a good time. I have a good time by myself sometimes. Oh. Quiet on the set. Roll video. Let's see. Somebody was saying, Kyle Paith, I know your name is spelled wrong, and wherever Mary Beth Mabe is, I know you're not in there. I figured out what happened with Mary Beth Mabe. Mary Beth Mabe and Donnie Hill have done the one-time patronization deal with that over there, right? And the video, okay, I went back to fix the video. It turns out all of the files from making that video, so I have to completely, got deleted for whatever reason, so I have to completely redo the whole entire Patreon video. So what I'm actually going to do is just redo it for next month. And then, of course, make sure I save it correctly this time. because we have a ton of new patronizers, as I think Candy Overhauls mentioned earlier. Congrats on the 202 patronizers. We are actually over the 202 Patreons, you guys, which is it's fantastic. That's amazing. At some point in time, somebody was like, 202, yes, and I'm like, we're still short of our goal, but damn it, that is awesome. Right? So it's like, I don't want to sound like I'm looking a gift horse in the mouth, but we did get a bunch of new patronizers, but we also lost a bunch of patronizers in the mix there. So I don't know what happened with all those people that kind of dropped off. I don't know if they were like mad or what. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that was all about, but we did lose a bunch of people too. So I'm sort of like, I'm on the fence right now. Like, yes, we're at 202, and then like, wait, what happened to all these people that went? So I don't know. Hopefully they're not mad. Maybe they're just like, have a bad money situation or something. Or maybe they're just patronizing other people. I mean, maybe that's the case. Hopefully, if that's the case, cool. One of the Patreons, I think I have 8 on mine that I patronize, other patronizers. One that I would recommend you guys go out to, somebody who's pretty similar to me, would be Priscilla MK, who I don't have her. Where is her? I don't have her link. Maybe Candy has it, or somebody can post it up in there. But Priscilla MK, who she just went by on the video part. There we go. They is a fellow artist who is who does a bunch of cool artwork on hers and stuff like that, and we will be collaborating in the future. So if that's somebody that maybe you don't want to patronize me, but that's a perfect person to go patronize it. You're like, man, I want to check out, I want to see what happens with this dragonfly she's working on. That's like the newest thing. I would check out that dragonfly. It looks dope. She's a hell of an artist, I have to admit, and she has done a bunch of other like fish-related stuff and calendars for the Fish Fam and all that kind of. She's done a bunch of channel art for people that maybe you need like a logo for your YouTube or something like that. She's done a bunch of stuff along those lines. So I would definitely, if there was somebody to patronize that, I'd be like, not me, somebody else or whatever. That's where I would recommend somebody to go and check that out. That's my shout out for today. Okay, now back to the 240. As you guys know, the current inhabitants in the 240 are mainly the killifish, the apistos, and the bristlenose, the kind of super red bristlenose. They're not the albinos. They're the kind of super reds. They're like orange, bristlenose placos that are in there. And, of course, some snails and a few other things and stuff along those lines. But those are the main inhabitants right now. You guys know that I've been setting up a new cube tank, which is like a 60-gallon cube. That is where the killifish are going to go. That is going to be the long-term house for those killifish, mainly because they are just sort of monsters of the deep in this situation. They're like the Jaws characters here in the 240. So, and I want to do some. I want to do some schooling in here. I want to do some schooling fish. I want to do some schooling fish in this aquarium. So, because I want to do the schooling fish in here, the killifish are not going to be all that fantastic for, the long-term health for any kind of schooling fish or anything like that. Because they are gangster and will eat everybody. Let's see. JW Knight Rider's asking what kind of killifish. These are Gardneri. I have 3 pairs of Gardneri killies in here. They're the real fancy looking pretty ones. Other than the girls are kind of drab, but the males are pretty darn fancy. Now, the long-term plan that I have is to build up the bristlenose, to build up the apistos, and to do a schooling fish, right? So, hold on a second. I got to move these little... There we go. Let me fix that. How did this get too small? There. Does that look all right? Yeah, it looks all right. So my long-term goal is to have some schooling fish in here, along with the apistos and the bristlenose, all just kind of breeding, going buck wild, and living just a sort of a harmonious sort of community tank. Now, if I want to add some other stuff later on, I may or may not, but those would be like the three focal kind of fish that will be in here. You know, the apistos will take up the bottom of the tank. You know, the bristlenose are sort of just everywhere, you know, wherever they feel like going or anything like that. And hopefully this school of fish will actually kind of occupy this sort of eye space where you're actually looking, you know, you're sort of just looking where, who, and what is swimming around within the tank. And hopefully they'll stay within a tight school. The Galaxy Rasboras are what I am planning on putting in here as far as the school of fish goes, mainly because they're super cool looking. I want to breed them, and I want to be the guy that locally always has some, like, you know, somebody's like, hey, man, I need like 30 of these buddies. And I'd be like, okay, let me get my net, bruh. I dig them very much, and I don't see them that often other than in like pictures and stuff like that. I don't see them in person really ever. So that is kind of my main reason. I really like that fish a lot, and I'm hoping to have a good school of them going here. Eventually, I could probably, once we build the pond system and stuff like that out into the yard and all that, into the greenhouse and stuff like that, I hope to be able to allow the overflow of them into some of the ponds and stuff like that out into the yard here as the property gets developed and things go along. JW Knight Rider is asking and answering his own question. Isn't a Galaxy Rasbora the same thing as a Celestial Pearl Danio? Yes, it is. You've asked the question that you answered. There's a third name as well. Yes, I'm sure. Yeah, there's scientific name would be the third name, which escapes me right now. It's oh man, now I'm wondering what it is. What is it? I gotta think here for a second. It's a Danio something. Celestial Pearl Danio. The Danio's the part. What is it? Margarita or something like that. Margaritas. I don't know. I think it's Margarita or Margaritas. Danio Margaritas or something like that. But they're cool. They're cool little fish, and I want to definitely have them. All right. So, if you guys recall and have been following me for a long time, know that I used to have a giant plant of bulbitis. Now, I've been nursing that little piece of bulbitis right there. That started out as about a silver dollar size little tiny piece of bulbitis, and is starting to occupy that middle space, which is awesome. I want the middle of this 240 to be full of bulbitis again. It's just going to take a long time. I'm just going to have to hurry up and wait and allow these ferns to grow and let them do their thing while they're slowly growing. Uh-oh. We have a super chat here. You guys, we have a super chat coming in hot. Sean Hilton with the $2 super chat asking if Fluval's still tripping. Fluval's tripping! Fluval's always tripping, and send me some reef lights, Fluval, or I'm going to get rid of my reef. Maybe I'll like, yeah, do it, whatever, guy, you're weird. The super chat, Fluval tripping. Hashtag Fluval tripping. Although, what was something that I noticed, and I can't remember the name of it, the other day. Something I was looking at the other day, and I can't remember the name of it. So never mind. I'm going to move on to something else. But yes, Fluval is tripping. The Fluval, hashtag Fluval tripping is when I yell at Fluval because they're tripping because they haven't sent me a free reef light yet. Is that Does that seem like a good reason to yell at a company? I don't know. It just seems like a good idea to make fun of them for not sending me free lights, right? I don't know. Is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's the right thing to do. Football's tripping! It's free advertising for them anyhow whenever I yell about them, right? Hell, I buy their substrate and their lights anyhow. I'm probably responsible for having sold 2 to 3 bags of Fluval Stratum over the years. So clearly, you know, like I'm an ambassador, right? Ooh, Barbara Jackson's cooking chicken. That sounds fantastic. I want some chicken. I'll have some chicken tonight. I had rice for lunch. Rice and avocado. And eggs from the chicken coop. That's what I had for lunch today. But I'd like some chicken tonight. But I'm cooking tonight because I'm home and I'll be cooking dinner. And my lady will come home and I'll have delicious dinner for her. And I think she's been watching a Netflix show called Mindhunter. I hope I'm not lost because every time I walk in, I just have no idea what's going on in that show. So, because I haven't been watching it, I just walk in and I get to see little parts of it. Maybe it has something to do with the space aliens that have been going on. What's going on here with Gary's Aquatics? Where'd that go? Where did that go? Oh, Turbofish and to go to work. And Gary's Aquatics had just stopping in to say hi and asked what is a good non-CO2 plant to put in a 90-gallon tank that will not only grow super fast, but also something that will make a good backdrop for a fancy guppy community. I would say any of the narrow leaf high grows, would be great. I always had real good luck growing high grows, Valsneria, stuff like that. Without CO2, you don't really need it. Personally, if I was going to set up a tank, I would find some really nice like narrow leaf Ludwigia. That'll grow in and is real easy to maintain in a non-CO2 sort of medium light tank. Any of the Ludwigia varietals will do fantastically. Yes, the Hygrophilia, like any of the narrow leaf ones, would do great. That's what I would go. Most of the crypts that you're going to get aren't going to necessarily get big enough for a 90-gallon if you're not really... I guess maybe you could get... Somebody said some Cryptocorn Becchetti, which would be cool, but... oh no, Kroeger Marcus is saying freshly transplanted cryptocrine, Becchetti growing very well, but new leaves roll up. I don't understand the question, so I want to answer that, but I don't know what you mean. But Dan Squires said Hygrophilia siamensis grows like crazy. Yeah, any of the narrow leaf Hygrophilias would be great for a non-CO2 90-gallon. That would definitely be a thing. Aquarium Coop's in the chat. Look out. 10 more tanks drained. Time to start moving them outside. The least fun part of aquariums is tearing them down. Yeah, but the biggest fun of tearing down aquariums is telling Jimmy to take them outside. That's my favorite part of the day. It always makes me laugh. Right? Is that how that goes? Let's see. Oh, we've got a super chat from Mr. Michael Faulkner, who's got one of my favorite avatars of all time. All right. Well, hopefully we got some update on the 240. You guys can see I added some bulbitis in there, and yeah, I don't know. No one really seems interested in that to aquarium, so we'll just go back to the last 13 minutes of the show here and answer some questions from people like my man Michael Faulkner. Faulkner, he's got a pirate for an avatar. Wah, 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 wah. Right? He's asking any plants that would survive 2 yellow belly sliders. If you don't know what yellow belly sliders are, they are a turtle of the turtle variety. Well, I don't know what kind of turtle they are. I mean, they're yellow belly sliders, right? They're pretty quick little guys, and they get around pretty quickly. I honestly, to tell you the truth, like when I raised my turtles when I was a kid, I had turtles all the time growing up, and I could not find anything that my turtles realistically wouldn't eat. I would feed them cat food, lettuce, any kind of weird, all sorts of stuff. Any kind of light-leaved plants, they would definitely go for light-leaved plants. Maybe what I would try some Anubias. I would try like some Cafolia, some Cafafolia, or maybe some Friseri Anubias that actually kind of grow up kind of taller. And maybe the stalks, they wouldn't be enthusiastic about going for the stalks. They normally want to go for the leafy parts of stuff. But I used to feed mine vegetables, peanut butter, cat food, all sorts of stuff. I mean, it was a kid, and remember, it was like 30 years ago. So technology wasn't that great. Couldn't just get turtle food, but I also fed them like dead crickets, not live crickets, but like dead ones. Like they couldn't catch the live ones, and then they would just get out, and then there would be crickets in my house. Which might be cool with some people, but that is not cool with my parents. Were not cool with that. But I realistically would say that that's what I would try. I would try the Anubias would be some of the bigger, the beefier, big taller Anubias. That's what I would kind of go for to see if maybe they don't want to trim the stalks down or anything like that. Anything with like thicker leaves like that might be all right, but I think with a turtle tank, what I would focus on is probably building an upper area that I could plant up above. That's what I would probably do to sort of make like a canopy. That's what I would do with the turtle situation now is or do like a living wall behind them. That is definitely something that is sort of my kind of favorite thing now for turtles, even if they're water turtles and they want to be in the water 99% of the time. Build a little area, like a little rocky area up here that they could come sunbathe if they wanted to. But I would build a big plant wall behind it. That's what I would do if I was keeping turtles nowadays, which I'm not. But every time I go up to Corey's, there's a bunch of little turtles there, and I'm like, oh man, look at these little turtles, buddy. Oh man. And then there's like turtle eggs he's got up there and all that kind of stuff. So I'm honestly thinking like, man, maybe one of these days I'm going to get a turtle, but I got to shake it off. I got to shake it off because I got to stay with my plans. So what I'm doing and not end up trying to figure out what to do with a turtle all randomly. So, that's what I would do. That would be the advice that I would do is just build a living wall up behind them. And then you could pretty much just have any plants you wanted up there, especially because if they're not submerged, you can have like a whole bunch of like cool, like, you could have like succulents up there. You could have crazy mosses. You could have maybe some ivy or something like that. I don't know. Ivy's kind of stupid, but kind of the sky's the limit if you have like a living wall or a canopy. I would go with the canopy. If I was just going to do just a plain old tank, I would just have a canopy up above, and I would build like an aquaponic tray along the back, and then do a canopy of plants up above it. And then all those roots and stuff will grow down in there, which is an awesome effect. And the turtles will probably eat some of the roots, but they'll be fine. They'll be fine ultimately. The plants will be fine, and the turtles will be fine. They can eat roots. They'll be okay. So that's kind of what I would do. Excuse me, I like inhaled some spit or something. I'm not sure what's wrong with me. Coughing. Maybe I'm dying. I have the flu. It's probably the Rex Kwon Do. I probably got a little bit of the Rex Kwon Do like caught up in me. Too much Rex Kwon Do. Break the wrist, walk away. Right? Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Here, all right. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, Mary Beth Mabe is actually here now. Yes, I mentioned you earlier. I'm sorry you're not in the video. I explained what was going on. If somebody wants to come over here and spend 4 hours programming some video for me, that would be fantastic. I would love that. That's the issue right now. I don't have time to reprogram that video. I explained it earlier in the show here, and the save files that I have all got lost, so I have to completely rebuild that whole entire video. So what I'm going to do is rebuild the video for December, because I need to add in all the new patronizers, because we have 202 patronizers. So that's what's going on, Mary Beth. It's not it's what happened to not only Mary Beth, but it happened to Donnie Hill and someone else that I can't remember right now that did a one-time donation. So the one-time donation people end up dropping off of the list, because I have to manually update the list from there, because I'm going off of what was processed before. So yeah, I know that it's confusing, and I'm not trying to slight anybody, and I'm not upset or anything like that. I hope no one else is upset. It's not on purpose. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but that's what's up. It's just kind of the deal. I have a whole bunch of commission things that I'm working on right now. One of them is like this clown loach over here, and that is part of my time right now that has to go in. I also need to make some other things for Christmas, and I have a lot of things going on. So I'm pretty busy, and that's why it's not a slight. That's just what's up. HC was eyeing that... painting. Jackie R with the Corvus Ocean and Pimp Your Turtle Aquarium. Right on. I would like to pimp somebody's turtle aquarium. It has been honestly, it's been a long time since I've really like messed with any kind of reptile stuff. Like when I was a kid, I was really into reptiles. Like I had turtles and chameleons, all sorts of stuff like that, and was you know, I was into it when I was a kid, and I just I stepped away from it. And like I mentioned earlier, one of the big issues was just certain things like having crickets just like in your house. You're like, what is going on? Non-indigenous crickets, non-indigenous crickets here, like in the house, and just things like that. Especially as you know. As I went through my 20s, like most of my houses were like ice cold and stuff like that, because we couldn't afford to keep the heat on and things like that, right? Or they were just ice cold because they were crappy. And having rentals and stuff like that, I never really had the opportunity to do too much. I really kind of got back into doing aquariums and stuff like that about 10 years ago. So I was basically going on 30 at that point, so I was kind of like more of a responsible person and stuff, and I just never got another reptile and stuff because what's the word? Like one of the issues, so I've never gotten a tortoise or anything like that, mainly just because I sort of, like as a person, I look at like what's the lifespan of an animal and how long could I possibly take care of it. And a lot of turtles and stuff like that, they live for like 40 years, 50 years, like easy. A lot of the tortoises and stuff, who knows how long they really live. It's like people just guessing. Like my great grandpa said this turtle was here, you know. That's like that's been my consideration realistically, is that you know, if I have an animal that's like going to be living for like 40 years, I really have to make some kind of accommodation for him that really that's really a really good setup for him. Which is another reason why I got into fish tanks, because I started going with when I started getting back into fish tanks, I went with nano tanks, because they were actually really small, and I could get away with you know, the water volume in like, you know, kind of the crappy places that I lived. They were like, oh hey, you just have these little tiny aquariums. Okay, these are like only these are only like 10 gallons or something. Okay, that's not a big deal. Or 5 gallons or a half gallon or whatever. You know, you couldn't really tell somebody that couldn't have a pitcher of water, basically. If it's a half-gallon tank, you know, it's like, what do you mean? Like, I can have a pitcher of water, right? It's because I have plants growing in it, whatever. So that was kind of the consideration of how I ended up getting back into it. Was definitely nanotanks, and then I spent a lot of years just spaced out researching, learning about nanotanks and stuff like that, and figuring out how to grow plants in like little tiny aquariums and things. I have to like move boxes and stuff. Somebody's asking about that painting back here. This one has definitely been in the show a bunch of times. And like, how much does this one cost? Just come get it. I don't know at this point. That painting right there is a $300 painting, essentially. Come and get it. Come and get it right now, and I'll give it to you half price. Hold on. Come get it right now. It's twice the price, right? Because you're very enthusiastic. Isn't that how that works? But a lot of people often ask me about art and my art projects and things like that. And I realized one of the reasons I was giving a shout out to Priscilla earlier is that she posted a video where she was actually talking about this exact same situation that I am about to talk about. And I was like, kudos, thumbs up. I like this video because it's really enlightening. One of the reasons I don't just have like a bunch of paintings for sale online or any of that kind of stuff, because everything I do is original and everything is based on like essentially how long it's going to take me to make it, like, or what the materials are and how long it's going to take to make it. If you want me to just like dump some paint out onto a piece of notebook paper, I would give me $3 basically for dumping paint out. But you know, if something's going to take me 100 hours to make, and I charge $100 for it, I make $1 an hour, right? So problematic at best, right? So that's basically how it comes down to it. If anybody wants a painting or anything like that, go to darkstararts.com is my website. You can find my email on there, and you can email me on what you're looking for. And I can also tell you about schedule, how much it would cost. We can, you know, if you have a budget and you go like, hey, look, I've got $1 million. I need lots of paintings. I'll be like, I don't even know if I could make $1 million worth of paintings, but you know what I mean? So that's really, hopefully that was a little bit of a breakdown. If you go there, you can email me and we can talk about what's going on. I'm currently talking to a few people about some other projects. I do have some other paintings that will be coming up and things like that, and which is always fun. There will be a real detailed video on this clown loach over here. Once that's done, I'll definitely be posting that one. And Chloe's asking, how long does it take to do a good painting? If it's 30 feet long by 10 feet tall, it'll probably take longer than something that's 3 inches by 1 inches, right? So that's the thing. Like, it's all different. It's every single project is different. If you want me to spray paint my name on your wall, it take me 5 minutes, and I'll probably just laugh and leave, you know? So it's kind of one of those things. Bentley's asking, did the rainbow fish painting get completed? It's still waiting. It's still back there kind of waiting. It has not been finished and not been revealed because other commission pieces came up. Other commission pieces that were like, hey, I need this painting. I want it now. Let's go. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that. I think I would look at it in the way that it's like when you go to a tattoo artist, right? You go to a tattoo artist and you're like, how much does a tattoo cost? You know, and they're like, I don't know, what tattoo do you want? Where do you want it? How many colors do you want? And stuff like that. So that's really the thing. It's sort of like if you were going to get a tattoo, that's basically the same thing. I get a lot of emails from people that don't actually want a project to be done. So I always just kind of go, hey, look, if you want to put down a deposit, I can start a project. If not, then I'll just wait until you do. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the thing. It's a little weird, but And I understand it's weird, but that's just how she is. That's how it is. That's just how the thing goes. But like, I don't know. Hopefully that explains it. Let's see here. I wish your stream were longer so I could keep being a lurker while working on paintings from bicycles and lilacs. You can always stream so from bicycles and lilacs, I do have a lot of streams up in here. I've been trying to add them all to the live stream playlist because apparently, as I was emailed a little while ago, somebody was like, hey man, the autoplay doesn't work anymore on your thing. So I've been building out a playlist of all of the live streams and trying to put them all into a playlist. So if you wanted to click on that and watch some of the old ones, that would be cool. If not, you can always go over to the Aquarium Co-op, check out some of the Aquarium Co-op, and check out some of his live streams. And if you haven't checked out the Real Fish Talk on YouTube or on the podcast version, if you went to the Real Fish Talk on YouTube, you'd find me and Corey, Corey and I, right? Where we do an actual kind of podcast about aquarium stuff, and then we just get into rambling nonsense. As you guys noticed, yesterday, my days are getting so jumbled up. Yesterday, we did a 2-hour version of the Real Fish Talk, which will be on the podcast. So the people that want to listen to it while they drive around and stuff like that, you can download those. You can also download the audio-only podcasts that are off of there and listen to those. But in the future, we're going to do our best to stay with that 2-hour format, I think. And I think we talked about that yesterday on the Real Fish Talk show. But you notice that there was a 2-hour special yesterday. We're going to keep trying to do those 2-hour ones. So that's kind of the plan. In Trinidad, it's costing me approximately $2,200 USD, Sun Tank 120. I guess I'll answer that real quick. Donald Edwards was asking, how much should a 120 cost? A 120-gallon aquarium, I mean, is it glass? Is it acrylic? If it's acrylic, it probably should cost about $1,500 new. Depending on your area, $1,500 to $2,000. If it's glass, it really should cost $300. Glass new, $300, I think. How long Let's see. Somebody was asking a question here and I lost it. Oh, Craig Francis saying, my grandfather used to do oil painting. Much respect. Love the paintings. Would love to have one for the fish room. Like I said, if you guys have seen any paintings in the background and you are in Western Washington, shoot me an email and I'll put one out on the, I'll bring one down to the Starbucks. How about that? Or something along those lines. If somebody really wants one of those, let me know. If you want a commission thing that you haven't seen, yet, head to Darkstar Arts, shoot me an email, just like Bonnie did a couple minutes ago. And we'll be able to work something out, if that makes sense. I'm trying to read that email while talking at the same time, and this sentence just popped up. Hope to see you at the New Jersey Aquatic Experience. As you guys know, I was at the Chicago Aquatic Experience this last year, and I'm going to do everything in my power to hopefully make it to the New Jersey Aquatic Experience this year. Coming up, whenever that is, October something? Rocktober? Rocktober. Yeah. Coming up with another Rock Blogger Eka Deca. Dirty deeds done dirt cheap. Right? Sorry, guys. Something happened. I don't know. We were intercepted by a radio signal, I think. But I got to go to the Chicago Aquatic Experience. I want to go to the New Jersey Aquatic Experience this year. I'll do my best to make that happen. There are a bunch of other cool conventions too, and I want to make it to as many of those as I can. So the best that you guys are already doing super awesome. So if we can just keep going this route with like sharing stuff out there, share the Patreon, share those things out. If we can get to a point, I'm going to go to all those conventions. So I'll be showing up in like California and Texas and the East Coast and whatever. So I would remember that all your guys' support is going to bring me out to be helping people out and doing stuff out there wherever I can in the future. And I'm super stoked for that. I'm more and more looking forward to that. Corey and I are putting a lot of our energy into building out the new studio so that we can actually bring people internet-wise to you guys and stuff like that, and a much better show. I'm excited for it. I don't know what's going on. I'm kind of running out of steam here. I've been talking by myself for an hour and 10 minutes, and I realize I've gone over my own time here. So I don't know who. There's probably somebody out there going to live stream. I would guess like Susan from SLC Aquatics or Sergeant Tanks or somebody like that is probably going to do a live stream at some point in time tonight. Feel free to check them out if you can or not. So, yeah. Either way. Ooh. There's, what's the word? There's a convention in Vegas. There's a fish convention in Vegas. MACNA. MACNA is in Vegas this year. So, that should be a really easy one for me to go to because plane tickets down there are super cheap to get from like Western Washington to Vegas, right? LG3 Nation saying visit Southern California. That Southern California is in road trip space, so we're going to try and do what we can to do some road trips and meet up with some fish fans and come to some fish clubs and stuff like that. And that's that all those things are possible. All those things are possible. It's just a matter of what can we do for support and all that kind of stuff and figure out how to do it. The only ways I know how to get gas for free and stuff like that are illegal, and then they lock you up in the Crossbar Motel, and then you have problems. You have all sorts of different problems after that, right? So all those things will be a consideration, and so we'll see what happens. The new year is coming. It's only 2 weeks away. It's less than 2 weeks away. 12 weeks away. So we're going to keep going. I'm going to go see if I have a razor around here. I got to shave. I forgot to shave this morning. It's getting a little beardy up in here. You know what I'm saying? Oh. Let's see. Facebook, Aquarium. It's not working. That link's broken. That Facebook link's broken, yo. It was broken for me, too. But thank you, everybody, for coming out. What was our biggest concurrent today? Our biggest concurrent viewers was 120. 120, you guys. That's pretty darn good. We gotta add a 0 to the end of that, right? So, thank you, everybody, for coming out. Have a fantastic evening. It's only hump day, so we got 2 more days in the rest of the week, which is good. It means we got time to get a lot of stuff done, and we'll just be, plugging along here, doing what we do. Don't shoot off any fireworks into the middle of the night, and get yourself ready, because here comes the later. Craig Francis says to hit the like button. Oh, Tim Lewis with the extra super chat. What happened there? What was that going on there? I don't know. This is weird. What's happening? Is it freaking out? I think the thing's freaking out. Oh, man. Don't freak out, man.